Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. So this is about a day late. School started for us up in Canada, so we found time. Although we had time after the gold medal game ended, and I said, no, I don't want to record right after the game is over, because I was not in the state to record after the game was over.
Yeah.
No, but like we're gonna cover
very
both.
Emotional about these
We're
games.
gonna cover the bronze medal game and the gold medal game. Just briefly, honestly, you could go watch the highlights. But no, the bronze medal game was interesting because it was kind of nobody really cared until about the third period, I'd say.
Of the two teams.
Yes, like because it seemed like it was very hard for them to get motivated for this game because literally the day before they got beat out of the chance at playing for gold.
And I find that very interesting because Finland looked like they were quite motivated against the United States.
Well, yeah.
However, the Russians during their game, they never looked motivated when they were playing Canada.
Or perhaps, yeah, I would say I can understand that sentiment, but I would also say that it's hard to motivate yourself when you get down so quickly in a game.
And also when you then finally think you're about to get back into it.
Well,
and
yeah.
then the goal gets called.
Still
off,
4-1 though at that point, but
which
yes.
wasn't technically a no goal, yes, but you know you would argue that like they worked and deserved that goal, but
yeah.
you know.
But anyway,
it
no.
is what it is.
So that being said, the Russians do score first. After outshooting the Finns pretty heavily, actually, early in the first. But then right after that, it's pretty much all Finland. Finland will go up 2-1, and then they'll end up winning this game 4-1, 2 empty netters. Russia had decent chances to tie it, but never really looked... Like, it always seemed contained, somewhat.
And you were saying that you thought the goalies were very evenly matched in this.
Yeah, well, like, I didn't see...
in the way that they play.
Like, okay, Askarov is either... When he plays, he's either noticeably good or noticeably bad. The Finn goalie is just... He just rides the line. So, like, you have Askarov who's going like this, and the Finn goalie is just going like this.
Well, you
don't have to worry much.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of a goaltender like Peter Mrazek. In the sense of Peter
He's very hot
very,
and
very,
cold.
very, very hot and cold. Very streaky.
A lot more cold than he was hot, but yes. Anyway,
he was a lot more
at
hot
times,
at the start.
At times.
But he kind of...
Yeah, but anyway, I would say though...
That's unfortunate. I like...
Heinola looked and actually got awarded as an all-star on the all-star team.
I found it kind of hilarious as they put him on the all-star team for the defense, but they put Niemela as the best... Did you hear about that? They did a best defenseman, but the best defenseman they didn't have as either two defensemen on the all-star.
No, Heinola looked
You're talking about the Puck Empire stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just his choices.
Is it?
Yeah, it's literally just his opinion.
Honestly, though, Heinola looked like Heinola, Lundell, those two guys look solid out there.
Yeah.
Russia looked fine, but like again, it's the same news with the Finns. You can't just score first on them. You also have to score more after that, because the Finns. Being down in games does not worry the Finns. They will come back from most of those games.
The Finns got good resiliency.
Yeah. So the Finns will get a bronze medal.
They always have had.
A bronze medal, which will complement quite a very good string of performances by them actually in the last 10 years, so to speak.
Yeah, they've won 3 gold in the past 10 years.
Yeah. And also to like, it's disappointing for Russia, I would say. But it's not. It wasn't terrible. Like it's good that you at least were in the top 4 there. Which kind of makes you feel bad because there's like the big 5 with Sweden included in there, and Sweden seems to be the one that's always the odd man out of that top 4 group. And this year was no exception. Well, we will get now to the Canada versus US. So the USA will beat Canada 2-0 to win the gold medal. And Canada will be stuck with the silver medal. I hated this game. I hated this game with a passion.
You know what?
Watching this game is one of the most frustrating things I've ever seen because
it's one of those things where
it's one of those things where you saw it coming if you really thought about it, because like anybody who wrote off the Americans you deserve this. Like, you should never have written them off. The fact was
No,
that
the
the
Americans-
Americans were stuck in a difficult pool and finished, I believe,
But-
top of it.
Yes, they were. They finished first.
Yeah.
The thing about the Americans, though, like, that people got to realize is that a lot of people kind of judge them for their 4-1 preliminary loss to Russia, and then just kind of thought, like, oh, yeah, we beat Russia 5-0. So that means that we're going to beat USA 9-1.
Yeah.
No. The United States, throughout the entirety of this tournament, have played very consistent and have played well. The only person who hasn't been quite consistent was Spencer Knight.
For one game.
For one game, but he was rock solid in
Yes.
his last game. Spencer Knight, you gotta give him credit.
So, I said this with about, I would say, 15 minutes left in either the second or third period. And it was one of those chances where Canada were Knight sprawling, and there's probably like 50 different ways you can put the puck in from there, and it doesn't go. And honestly, when I see that in a game, that's the fat lady doing her like warming vocals. Like,
Yeah.
it's over after that, because you see it so many times where teams look back on those few chances they had, and those chances are past. Like, they're done now. And I felt the same thing with Canada, honestly. Both goals, first goal, there's literally nothing Dylan Levi can do.
You mean Devin Levi?
Devin Levi, right. I knew it was not Dylan, but I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, Devin Levi, there's nothing he's going to do on the first goal. It's a good tip.
It was a very nice
Just
tip.
clips
Yeah.
it.
And it was literally like a foot
Yeah.
in front of him. Like,
Second
what the hell are you
goal.
gonna do?
Bad luck. Bad
I
luck.
remember, what was the second goal?
The puck kind of gets stuck behind the net type thing.
Oh,
And it's one of those things where-
that's where he thought it was
where-
gonna go around, but
Well,
then
no,
it hit
not
the
even
net,
just
and
that,
then
but
the guy
Trevor Zegras picks it up and just kind of turns around and throws it, turns around quickly.
just kind of tucks it in.
Yes, and it's just bad luck to happen.
Yeah.
But then after that, like, he didn't let anything after that. Knight played great.
Yeah.
Like, watching the game, it's funny. Overall, if these two teams played each other regularly, do I think America would win 90%, like, most of the time? No. I would say, but I wouldn't
If this
say...
was a series,
I'd say if this was a series, America would definitely win the first 2 games against Canada.
yeah, and you know what? One thing that I said was that, you know, I'm worried. I was always worried for Canada because of the division that they were given.
Yeah.
Because
It's an easy division.
sure, they got challenged by Slovakia, but it's still
That's you
Slovakia.
playing... But that's not... Here's the thing, though.
That's not you playing well and having to deal with
You're playing
adversity.
down to Slovakia.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. Yeah, that's you playing down to their level. And you know, but Slovakia did play well that game,
Yeah.
but it not well by
Anyway.
a United States.
Yes, but
standard.
anyway, no. But, like, the U.S. had a very great setup in the defensive zone.
And
It never felt like there was any time where the Canadians were really at risk of scoring from outside.
They were very protective of that home plate area that they talk about.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they showed in the intermission that just the shots, both goals are directly in front in the middle.
Well, they're
and
just-
Canada had almost nothing there. Because the thing I noticed a lot about Canada is that Canada for the first period, Canada was just not in their game. They weren't. The United States took advantage of that and popped 2 goals in because of that.
1 goal. One
Was
goal
it
was
one?
at the beginning of the second period.
Oh yes, and
Yeah.
then the next goal was the beginning of the second. Yeah. But it kind of seemed like the second period, the first 2 minutes were kind of a continuation of the first. It seemed,
Yeah, no,
seemed
like, and it's...
but then Canada finally they take a penalty. They have a great penalty kill where they almost score. Right? They had a 3-on-2. They almost scored, and then they get all this pressure and it seems like they're getting like tons of offense, tons of pressure. But the thing is that all these chances that Canada's getting, as much as are great chances, they're shots from out wide, they're shots from up high.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Spencer Knight was picking up all of those. And I was like, if Canada's gonna score, it's gonna be a scrappy goal. What they need to throw it, and they need to throw guys at the net, and they need it's gonna be grindy goals. And you know what? They had like one chance that was like that near the end of the game, like 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And I thought they might be able to put one in, but you know, and what was really concerning me, and this was mainly in the first period, about Canada's defense is that they're very tight. Very in tight, and they gave the U.S. a lot of room, and especially when you got players like Caulfield and Zegras who are gonna use that room and make some magic. You gotta be careful with that. So.
No, now I gotta remember what I was gonna say. No, but I feel like there's things that people need to remember. Just getting chances does not necessarily mean you will build momentum. There are also like literal moral drops type thing.
Like there's momentum boosts from stuff, like they're gaining momentum, but then there's also just a lot of it's a difference between that and missing opportunities, I guess I would say. And I feel like a lot of times what happens is that people mistake chances on net where they almost scored to building momentum. It's not, it's sometimes that, but it's not always that. Sometimes you built momentum to that scoring chance and then you didn't score.
Yeah.
Like for example, getting cuts to the net where it just goes wide or you don't like get that clear cut chance, but you're making something gritty or something out of it. That's a momentum builder. Getting shots on net and then having an open net and missing it, that is not a momentum builder. That is a blown opportunity. That's different than that. And I felt like as a Canadian fan watching this game, I had to keep lying to myself for at least, I'd say at least 1.5 periods, not counting the first one, because they really didn't do anything, that Canada was gaining momentum. They really were. Did they have pressure? Yes. Did it look like they could have scored? Yes. But at the end of the day, you didn't have a lot of momentum builders. You had a lot of blown opportunities.
Tons.
And it just sucks, like honestly, because nobody likes getting shut out, and getting shut out in a gold medal game hurts. Now I'm gonna summarize my thoughts on what happened afterwards. Because here's the thing, the barrel moment. Okay,
yeah,
I've talked about this, but I've been able to let it settle or simmer for a bit. So, Team USA posts for the team photo. They grab a barrel from the room that has a Canadian Hockey Canada logo on it and pose with it in the photo. So, like, I'm gonna summarize my entire thoughts on this. You can go after.
Yeah,
okay?
I talked to some American.
You
fans
can go after
and they
this.
explain some stuff.
No, I know the story. Here's the story. Is that it's pretty much there's some intricate story about it, but the main point is that there was a barrel for every single team they played. Canada was the last barrel. That is the story that we have been told. And I'm not going to argue that story. I'm not going to argue if that holds up at all or if that's BS. I don't think it's BS. I think that's honesty. But here's the problem I have. It felt wrong to put it on the ice. I'm totally fine with you taking photos with it. Like, I'm totally fine with you having that barrel that says Team Canada on it and celebrating with it. No, just wait. Not yet. That I have places to go.
Yes, you do.
But the thing is like, well, first off, a bunch of people. I would like to point out something here. Now, it's not totally relevant, but anybody who says that's a barrel, not a trash can, yes and no. It's actually kind of both.
Have you ever been to a hockey rink?
Yeah, hockey rinks use barrels all the time.
I've probably
for trash
seen
cans.
over 100 of them used like that.
Yeah, actually, we live up in Winnipeg. There's not many trash cans that you actually see in dressing rooms.
And
they're mostly like barrels. Some of them are drum barrels, but all of them.
I would like to point out, and this is not just a Canadian thing. I've played in the U.S. They have that too. So
Yes, I've played a couple.
Now, whether it's in all the U.S. or just like
Yes.
I played more in like Minnesota and North Dakota and whatnot.
Yeah, but
anyways,
also too
in Wisconsin.
Like it shouldn't have been on the ice. And it really shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been on the ice. but at the very least, it shouldn't have been in the team photo.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't feel right. Because I'm looking at this photo, and you're seeing a barrel of the losers team on it. It doesn't feel right.
At the very
The
least,
other way around, it should feel equally wrong if Canada did that to the States.
and at the very, very minimum, it was a very poor thought out.
They did. You can tell it wasn't thought out because someone just
and
grabbed
it
it
was
and they're
one
like,
of those
yeah, young guys, let's
think
grab it.
I think if they posted a picture of that barrel before the game saying, all right, we got one more barrel. That's one thing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But even
I
then,
think that
okay.
I think that's actually probably, that would have been the best way to approach this.
Yes,
And
okay.
especially since this barrel thing, I haven't heard of this. Did you hear this come up through this?
No,
tournament?
but I don't think they were gonna publicly talk about this
I
because
guess
it's
but-
things that happen in the dressing room, and I'm totally fine.
Fair
with it.
enough.
Here's what the way that you could have said, like, yes, I understand they're excited and stuff like that, but here's the thing: you actually have to make an effort to go into the dressing room and grab a barrel. That's not like that's a little more than spur of the moment, like a slightly more. Like
Yeah.
you're on the ice celebrating with your team. You're like, man, I gotta get this barrel, and it's just like
Yeah.
in time for the team photo.
Now-
So like
Now, and it's funny. I heard.
it is a bit disrespectful.
Yeah. Whether it was intended. to
Honestly,
be or
here's
not.
what they should have done. The best way to do this, and I understand hindsight is 2020, but post a photo with the trophy with all of the barrels that you have.
Yeah.
Not one, all of them. Because you know what? It's bad to single someone out. It doesn't hurt. It's not that bad if you generalize it.
And especially right after a very emotional game. Of
Yes,
hockey.
I would say so. But no, like honestly, there's a lot of what ifs here. If Canada was allowed to use Lafreniere, this wouldn't have been close.
And Doc.
And if Doc
if
doesn't
Doc
get
is-
injured, I think Canada wins this outright, probably 4-1 at the minimum. But if ifs and buts were candy nuts, Canada would have gold. I would say the narrative of this rivalry is becoming a lot more shaped like how Canadians view it because we have an inferiority complex with the United States. Doesn't matter if we have the better ranked team. That's just how we play.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to motivate yourself when you can tell yourself you're the underdog, that you are the good guy in the story. That's why it was a sobering reality a couple years ago when Finland beat us, because it was the underdog team winning, but we just weren't really ready for it to accept that narrative at the time.
You know, out of all the teams,
I don't have much time actually. I know I don't.
But what is your thoughts on? There were some Americans pointing out.
Just go. Yeah, just get to it.
Talking about how Canada before the game was talking a lot of smack, and you know what? I think there is some merit there in that sense, compared to the in the sense of like.
No. I know what you mean.
But
Who the hell doesn't talk smack?
I was about to say.
Have you been online?
It's.
Everyone talks smack about
Th-
everything.
this is
You can post a
professional
photo
sports.
of you chilling with some puppies, and you will get smack talked for it by at least
Like-
one person.
I was about. I found it kind of funny in the sense of like how is that like.
That isn't justification.
And this isn't just hockey.
Shit talking
All-
before a game
all-
is not justification for making a disrespectful action after the game.
Because you should be.
Shit talking, and also I don't even know. Like, do you know the instances they're saying, or are they just talking about fans? Because
They're
fans,
just talking about fans.
everybody does that.
Well, yeah,
Every
of
team
course.
does that.
That happens.
There's at least one Austrian fan right now who talks the meanest game before every time. He's just
Marco
like,
Rossi is gonna kill you.
no, he's just like, Urus Gangendorf, he's gonna kick your ass. Like, no, that's part of the game. Yes, people can take
And it's
things too
part of
far.
every
They
game.
can take everything too far. Anything can be taken too far. But to generalize and hide behind the argument of you talked shit, so we'll disrespect you with a barrel for the official photo of the trophy is garbage because people will smack talk you before you win gold every year, and you didn't do it then. So why do it now?
Watch them post that years down the line. They just crop it out.
Yeah, it just cuts to the end. It's like, hey, what happened to the backup's half of his face? No, but honestly, that's the last I'll talk about that. No, as I was saying earlier, though, this works a little bit into Canada's inferiority complex. They haven't beat the States in the finals in a while. They beat the States a decent amount, but they haven't beat them in the finals in a while. Although that's also based on circumstances. Sometimes the States just doesn't make it there.
Yeah. Although, you know what?
Last year we would have beat you, but you didn't make it.
Because I did hear some stuff afterwards, like, oh yeah, because of this win, that means that the United States are the all-hockey gods.
It's funny. Did you see this guy? I don't know who the heck this guy is.
Which is like,
but he started off by trashing how Canada doesn't have any Stanley Cups, which is bullshit. Every single team in the league, actually, the St. Louis Blues have the most Canadian players on them, and they won the
If you look at the actual players,
come
that
on,
are on the teams,
And no one's saying that they converted to being American.
You know what?
There's a reason they stay Canadian for the Worlds.
I love the Jets, but maybe the reason they haven't won is because they don't have.
Yeah. If you want to shit talk a team, if the Jets win a cup, you can ironically shit talk them for not being very Canadian.
Yeah.
We're the most American team in the league.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, that's all I got to say about that. I don't know.
But you know what? In all honesty,
yeah,
the United States, they played well, deserve the win.
Yeah. So looking forward, I have my reactions to a Jets game coming up. I didn't even check which yet.
Oh yeah, and that starts in.
That's like next week.
Starts in exactly a week from now. Yeah. Actually, right?
We should just buy a camera, honestly, so we don't have to use a phone.
Yeah. You know.
Because then I could just record on it.
Oh yeah, you're working tons
of
hours now, aren't you?
Well, no, university's no joke. I'm missing class now.
Oh, okay. Well, we better hurry up.
But thank you for watching, especially if you got this far. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Comment down below what your thoughts were on the tournament as a whole and the finals. As well as let us know what you want us to talk about, because honestly, we're up for anything.
Congratulations to Finland on a great bronze medal game. And congratulations to the United States on a great
gold medal game. So. And yeah, that'll be all. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We would greatly appreciate that. And follow us on Instagram at Nolan Hockey Podcast. Because honestly, at some point we're going to figure out what original content we want on there. But yeah, no, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.